Well, what do we have here? What's up, guys, and welcome back to Plane Accident. It's time to do some investigating and uncover some secrets of some aeronautical mishaps. Alfred Ballware, aka Crazy Fred, was conducting sprays with his well-worn old farming machine. The weather conditions were perfect, and it appears a malfunction forced the pilot to make an emergency landing in a cornfield, head to the scene, and determine the cause of the accident. Dagnabbit, Fred, I told you about that old hunk of junk, man. Shouldn't be flying that thing. She's not airworthy, so we're gonna have to go check this out. Hopefully not peel Fred off some stalks of corn, and hopefully we can figure out what went down. I already see a little bit of... Oh, yeah, this is not good. We've got a fire going on. We're going to want to extinguish the flames right off the bat. Let's get these guys taken care of. Oh, that... I can't tell. That might be rust. That could be a blood splatter. I don't like the look of that. Get this taken care of. Obviously, corn can be super dry and lead to some more issues here. So next up, we want to check on the condition of the pilot. Fred! Hey, Crazy Fred, you in there, bud? Hey, come on, man. Oh, he does not. Oh, he doesn't look good. Fred, he's alive. He's torn up, but he's alive. We got to get him out of here. We're going to call 112. We must be somewhere over in Europe. Get him in the ambulance. Get him out of here, baby. Look at this. We've got some cutscenes now. So we played this game like a month ago. It's kind of like a fairly low-budget Steam game, but it looks like we've got some improvements. Cutscenes. Mark our little caution area. Get our flags all set up around the plane, and then it's going to be time for us to do our investigation. Probably start looking for evidence. Now, I would think we could scan the map of the area, and then we're going to be able to scan the map for parts. That's going to help us out with determining what we're looking for. Now, before we do that, it might be kind of fun to try to find some stuff on our own. So we've got a piece of landing gear there. Looks like we have a lot of stuff around the field. We've got another piece there. This looks like it's some sort of a holding tank for some of the pesticides and stuff. We've got another... So we have the two rear wheels and the front. Everything broke off. This looks like a piece of tractor equipment, but that actually might be something that goes in the bottom side of the wing and sprays. Looks like we've got a trash can over here. That's not going to be of any assistance to us. Gonna see... I kind of like trying to look for ourselves. I see a propeller right here. Obviously, we have the drone technology to be able to spot it from a mile away, but sometimes some good old-fashioned dirt under your fingernails is what you really need. Nothing all the way back here. We've got 7 out of 9. I'm actually pretty happy with that. I'm wondering if we could potentially have some stuff in the cornfield. Also could have some stuff closer up here. I bet some stuff kind of fell out in here. Another piece of the prop. That's 8 out of 9. The problem is the cornfield is probably pretty tough. All right, so let's use our drone. Might as well. So we're going to scan for parts. We've got 4 zones. We're going to have to do 4 scans. And it should give us some potential spaces for parts. Now, the thing is, it's not going to tell us exactly what's there. We have to go check it out for ourselves. So it looks like we have one at the crossroads over here. It's kind of like a metal detector. It could be a, little piece of scrap metal. It could be something really interesting. There was some... Oh, that's it right there. One of the pieces of the prop flew all the way over here. We got it, baby. That's what I'm talking about. So next up, we're going to be taking some photos. Let's document the evidence here. Photo of the left side of the plane. We'll get a photo of the right side. Yeah, it looks like he had some tanks back here. That might have been where one of the tanks came from. He's definitely missing the spray nozzles on that side. Probably going to want some photos of everything that came off of it. So we could take a photo of this guy, maybe. All right. The last one is going to be this over here. I wasn't sure. I couldn't identify this. This is some sort of the fuselage, a body panel or something. So let's call the technicians. We're going to pick all this stuff up, get it back to the warehouse where we can use all of our tools and try to piece this together, figure out what happened. Very sad. But at least he's alive, You probably shouldn't be flying around in old equipment like this. Don't be toying with your life, Crazy Fred. I know you're crazy and all, but it's okay. So let's go take a look at the documents. This is the fun part, man. I really enjoyed this game in the first episode. So let's take a look at the case files. We'll start here and we'll work around. It is in Cloverdale. It's an Air Duster 205 aircraft. We have the flight data. Flight route was spraying on the farm in Cloverdale. 1 passengers, no victims. Pilot is Crazy Fred Ballware. Crazy Fred, a farmer from Cloverdale, took off as an Air Tractor 502 and was spraying his cornfield. Suddenly, without any apparent reason, the plane started to descend. Thanks to the pilot's experience, he was able to make an emergency landing. Okay, so not a lot to learn there. Let's take a look at his flight log, see if he's had any issues recently. In May, still flying over the fields. If all goes well, I'll be spraying the entire cornfield in 2 weeks. April second half, it's time for vegetable spraying with the new tanks. It goes even faster. Back in March, I went to the Fairmount Fair. I ate some delicious food, maybe too much, and now I have a stomachache. Why do you have that in your flight logs, bro? In February, I'm checking if the plane is in good condition. It would be helpful if Stanley could take a look at it. We might want to talk to Stanley. And in the 24th of November, flew to Fairmount for some bigger shopping. Everything is working fine. So it was working. I'm assuming this is going in this order. It was working fine. He tested it. Maybe call Stanley. He ate too much. He did some spraying. He got some new tanks. And it increased the speed. He's still flying. Okay. Interesting. So he did get some new tanks. Gonna have to take a look at that. We've got our tech log here. Maybe we'll go in order. Fixed the throttle because it was sticking. Now it sounds great. Engine is running worse and worse. I've looked at it, but I don't know what's wrong. I have to take it to Stanley. Engine regeneration, fluid replacement, hydraulic system inspection. No other repairs were performed. The owner's been informed about the poor technical condition of the aircraft, says Stanley. This was February 18th, 2022. So we're going to have to talk to Stanley for sure. Saw the black box. I can ask. They ask why, and I tell them I can. Attach new spray tanks. Now 1 flight. And everything will be sprayed. There's a problem with the radiator. I fixed it with gray tape. Yeah. So he isn't really taking care of his stuff here. He's been advised that he shouldn't be flying this thing, and he still is. Let's take a look at our photos. See if there's anything in these. Doesn't add anything to the case. Doesn't add anything to the case. Tank is not an original part of the airplane. Doesn't add anything to the case. So I think that tank that he added might have something to do with it. We shouldn't have any witness. Oh, we do have some witness reports. Sergeant Kowalski, what a break. I managed to determine that the witness to the accident was neighbor Mike. Perhaps his testimony will be helpful. So we're going to call neighbor Mike. We've also got St. Mary Hospital. Mr. Fred Ballware was admitted to our hospital in critical condition, has not yet regained consciousness. When his condition improves, I will inform you by email. So we don't have anything from the actual pilot yet, but we do have some witnesses we're going to be able to call. So let's talk to his mechanic. His plane was held together with duct tape. Inspections? What inspections? As long as something was working, it was working. And when it broke down, Fred fixed it himself. I don't know why, but Fred insisted on having a black box in the plane, so I helped him install it. Maybe there will be some information on it. So we're definitely going to want to take a look at the black box. Neighbor Mike, according to the sergeant, witnessed the crash. I was sitting on the front porch to watch Crazy Fred fly over the cornfield. At one point, the plane went straight down to the ground. Luckily, Fred is a good pilot and somehow managed to land. Maybe it's because all those huge tanks he attached to the plane himself. I told him, just like a friend, that thing with those big tanks, he won't go far. The spray tank, which might have been too large, too heavy, reduced the airworthiness. We've got the black box. We want to check out the information on that. And we've got Fred in the hospital, which we definitely want to talk to him as soon as he regains consciousness. But I think we're going to have to fix this thing up first. So we're going to take our power drill, reload the batteries, and we are going to reconstruct the plane. So this is the tank shields. Interesting. He had like a piece of scrap metal that he threw on the side of the airplane. Of course this isn't going to go well for you, dude. This is the spray tank, which was behind that tank shield, I assume. Of course this is not going to happen. Oh my goodness. All right. We've got our propeller pieces, which we're going to throw up here. So just kind of putting the plane back together in its original shape so we can see if there's anything a little bit off. Let's see. We've got a back wheel, which we're going to put back here. Dude, this thing is absolutely mangled. We've got our 2 main wheels, the left wheel here, and the right wheel over on the other side. That's 8 out of 9. And the last piece... it's the sprayer. Okay. He is missing the sprayer from the right side wing. Okay, so... go ahead and reload our batteries. We can set this thing down, and we're going to make a scan of this wreckage so we can see if there's anything foul that happened here. Let's scan for explosives. I don't think this has anything to do with explosives, but can never be too careful. I mean, some things violently disassembled when he hit the ground, but I don't think it was due to an explosion. I guess you never know. I mean, the tank could have exploded. Fertilizer's flammable, right? Maybe some sort of a weird spark or something. It did not detect any explosives, so let's scan the surface. I don't think there's going to be ice either. I think there's definitely not going to be ice. We should have just done the surface. But that's okay. The boys cover at all angles. Could never be too cautious. As the world's best aeronautical misfortune investigator. Okay. So that is done. We did get an email, but I kind of want to check out the black box first. Let me check. I'm assuming the black box is going to be on the back side. Let's see. Black fuel tank. Black box is going to be here on the left side. Looks good to me. So let's grab this drill. Grab the black box, which is up here. It's not here, is it? I thought it was going to be there. Let me put this door down. Interesting. Is the black box in there? No. Do I have to take the seat out to access? I might have to take the seat out to access the black box. We'll put that down there. Interesting. There's the flight recorder. Okay. Really good thing that he threw this in here. This could have all the answers that we need. So let's analyze this bad boy. We're going to drop that and extend it. Interesting. So we've got some footage of the crash. Let's reload this, put that back. We've got a couple of emails here. So the scan of the aircraft showed the additional crop spray tanks did not affect the aircraft's payload capacity and were not the cause of the accident. We also have the black box. Recording was decoded successfully. During the flight, the engine stopped functioning. The probable cause was fuel depletion. Check the fuel level. So let me throw these on here. We know the spray tank's okay. That is not it. He was potentially out of fuel. We don't have anything else. We need to figure out how we're going to test the fuel. Wait a minute. What is this? He's got a vial full of pills in there too. Okay, we can't test the fuel yet. We've got to send this off. So I'm going to package this up. We're going to send this Mr. Bezos with Fastbox. Trademark restricted is going to send that off. We're going to find out what we have going on there. So he might have been on some painkillers or something. Who knows? We've got some new evidence there. Check the fuel gauge in the cockpit. That's what we were looking for. So we missed that. We should have seen that when we did the flight box. Let's check our fuel gauge. It looks like turn the battery on. Where would the fuel is on empty? That is... Oh no, tank is half full, confirmed with the fuel tester. I mean, I didn't see that it was half full, but I do think it had, you know, a fair amount in there. How do we check the aircraft blueprint to find the location of the fuel tanks first? Okay, so the fuel tank is going to be in the back. That's what we actually already opened up. You got a fuel tank in the back and you also have it on the wings. So if we grab our fuel tester here, funny little funnel looking thing, we're going to grab a little bit of fuel from here. We're going to grab a little bit of fuel from under here. And then that piece that we grabbed earlier, this was another fuel tank back here. Okay. That tank is empty. Interesting. We've got another box here. I'm going to put our fuel tester back down. We've got our pills here. We're going to put these down. We're going to have the results on that. I'm really curious about that. Let's actually check that before we talk to the mechanic. We've analyzed the substance provided, and we could say confidently that it was ordinary aspirin. Powders could not have led to any impact on the pilot's psychomotor skills. Well, thank you to the Institute of Chemistry and Physics. That is a wrap there. So let me grab our phone. We're going to hit up Mr. Mechanic. Fuel gauge not working. Showing the wrong value? Very likely. Agricultural machines aren't subject to mandatory inspections. I suspect that half the systems were faulty and barely holding up. So his readouts were telling him he had fuel, but he didn't actually have fuel in there. That seems like the most logical outcome. It's not going to be the aspirin, but we do have fuel is not working. We've got another new email here from St. Mary Hospital. Wanted to inform you that Fred Balware has regained consciousness and his condition allows for questioning. So we're going to give Mr. Crazy Fred a call. Looking rough, but he's doing all right. I feel weak. I don't know what happened. Was there not enough fuel? The gauge hasn't been working for a year, but I always refuel with 200 gallons of fuel and it was enough. This time, my new employee, Pedro, refueled the plane. Well, we're gonna have to give Pedro a call. What's up? I speak little English. Si, senor. I tank airplane. As Senor Alfredo said, 200 liters. He was supposed to do gallons. He underfueled it. He hired Pedro, and Pedro underfueled it. It's Pedro. It's Pedro's fault. Lock it in. Oh, that's a tough one. I'm glad he's alive. That would have been a really sad way to go. Crazy Fred modified his plane and installed additional spray tanks. However, it had no impact on the crash. It turned out the cause of the disaster was the poor knowledge of the English language by his employee, Pedro. He misunderstood Fred's instruction, and instead of pouring 200 gallons into the tank, he filled it with 200 liters of fuel. The damaged fuel gauge did not alert the pilot he was running out, which led to the plane's descent. In the end, he survived. His equipment did not, but that's okay. He wasn't bothered by the accident. He stated that apparently it wasn't his time yet. He bought a new plane, and he still personally pilots. However, this time he takes better care of its technical condition. So, a little wake-up call for Fred. In his anger, Fred fired him from his job and wanted to press charges. However, he quickly remembered that Pedro was employed illegally. Ultimately, a week after returning from the hospital, he rehired Pedro. To avoid similar mistakes, he invested in an English language course for his employee. That's actually really sweet. Pedro, you almost killed me, but I'm gonna, still take care of you, still hire you, keep you in the country, that sort of thing. And that's a case closed. I don't know what it is about this game. Like, it doesn't really have the best graphics. It doesn't have the best cutscenes, but I honestly find it really endearing. I enjoy this. So we're on here to mission 2. Now, this is the one that we have already done. This is technically our episode 1 that we played a month ago. I guess they did the prologue on mission 2. So I'm going to play through this one off screen. I don't want you guys to have to rewatch this. It was a good one, though. Miss Goldberg cheating on her husband, the faulty part and stuff that happened. If you guys missed it, I'll link it down below. But if you guys want more from this, let me know. I'll, pick it back up with mission number 3 if you guys are interested, and we can keep exploring some aeronautical mayhem. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you all in the next one. Drop a like if you guys enjoyed. Peace out.